Hi, in this week's episode what we're going to do is we're going to create some security lights. So the whole idea is that when it gets dark the lights turn on, and when it's light and you don't need security lights then the security lights turn off. So let's set that up. So you go to microbit and you go to the microbit platform, and we're going to be using the forever loop here. And I don't know if you heard, but while I was talking I said if it gets dark then it turns the lights on. So that's, if you go into logic, that's an if true, isn't it? So, well, if what is true? Well, if the light is dark, what does that mean? Well, if light is dark, then the light level must be less than something, a certain value. So again, we go into logic, and it's one of these. If something is less than, we just pop that in. Well, if the light level is less than. So a microbit has an input thing which allows you to read the light level. And I can just pop that in there. It's pink, so you just go to the pink code and you get the light level. So if the light level is less than a certain value, so I'm not sure what value would be considered light or dark, but let's say 75. So 75, that's a measure in lumens, which is a measure of light. So if the light level is less than that, then it's going to switch the light on. Otherwise, else, and you notice I just click the plus there. You can do a minus, but I just click the plus there to add the else. Otherwise, in other words, if the light level is 75 or above, in other words, it's light, then it's going to switch the light off. So all I need to do now is add some code in here to turn the light on or off. I can use basic kind of LEDs. So for if it's less than 75, I want to switch the lights on. So I could have an LED here which has all the LEDs showing. And that would basically show me what it's going to look like when the lights are switched on. And then I could have another one which is switched off. So this switches the LEDs on the chip, on or off. And if I just use the simulator here, this measure here, because I've used light level as an input, it's showing, and you notice it's got a value of 128. That I believe is kind of like daylight. If I take the light up, again the light should be off because it's light. When I make them dark, so 36, 64, and as I make it dark, the lights on the LEDs switch on. But I want to take that a little bit further. I don't just want to switch on the LEDs on the microbit. What I want to do is switch on an actual light. So these pins over here, pin 0, pin 1, pin 2, can all be used if you attach a wire to it. That wire can go to a relay switch, and the relay switch can switch on, and that relay switch could be attached to some lights. So that's all under pins. So if you go down to the bottom and you click Open Advanced, and you go down to pins, you'll notice that you've got digital write pins. So digital means 1 or 0, on or off. So I'm going to send a signal to the relay to switch the relay on or to switch the relay off. And so that's going to be a digital write pin because it's writing a signal out. It's going out of the microbit. If you had a digital read pin, then that would be reading the signal. So, but I'm going to be using the digital write pin, and we can use pin 0, and we're going to set pin 0. This is where we want it to be, the signal to be on. So an on signal would be electricity flows. That would be a 1, and I could duplicate that and pop it in the bottom here. Pin 0 is now being set to a digital write pin of 0. And you're not going to see any change here. All you can see is the LEDs flashing, but you'll notice if it's dark, it's pin 0 becomes 0 here is sending a 1 signal. As I make it light, it's sending a 0 signal. In other words, the signal is not being sent via a wire attached to pin 0. So this essentially will create some security lights, and you'd have to attach them to your microbit chip, and I'll show you a diagram of that now. So what you can see on the screen now is a microbit chip with the yellow crocodile lead connected to pin 0, and that leads to the in input on this Monk relay board. And then the green goes from ground, it goes to the ground on the microbit chip. That's the green crocodile wire. If you then attach this to a light bulb, then the relay switch will be switching on a light bulb. So let's see how that would work. So here's it fully connected. Again, you can notice from pin 0 on the microbit chip, it goes to the in on the relay board. A relay is basically just a switch. It switches something on or off. So if an on signal is coming from the board, it's switching the relay on. From the out on the relay board, that's the white one, it goes to a bulb, and then from the bulb it goes to the battery, which gives the power. Then the battery goes to the other out signal on the relay board, and you'll notice the black connecting wire from ground on the microbit to ground on the relay board. So this is how you would connect your security light up. The little bulb there obviously is not much of a security light, but you would have a bigger light if you wanted real light to show. But that's basically how everything would connect up. Coding very simple, and the components very easy to set up. So lovely little project to create a security light. Do it and then connect it to the units, connect it to the components, and test to see whether it works.